Call the meeting to order at 5:09 p.m. All board members and trustee Thelma Jeffries are present. Joanne, you want to read the minutes of the July 21st meeting?
You're back here.
So I asked Joanne to read the minutes of the July 21st meeting.
And I'll talk real loud. Financial reports, township. Cash on hand is $234,426. 2026 budget balances, rainy day is $0. $4,156, $463.35 general, I think $64,230 township, $45,581 recreation. Harrodsburg was $19,111 checking, $2,545.35 in savings, $10,713 in their CD account, and $22.17. That was the gun raffle.
The gaming.
Gaming? It's not written down here, so I couldn't see it.
Yep.
Okay. Smithville Community Center was $4,780.42. In checking, in savings was $4,900.41. Smithville Area Association, $14,358.79. And then in farmer's market is $3,019.52.
Oh, we got to keep going. We got to read the rest of the minutes. Update on project.
Oh, geez. Okay, then, update.
You want to tap Dustin in?
I was gonna, never mind. Update on projects, flat roof at Smithville Community Center, final bid is coming. Leaks in the conference room at Smithville Community Center, Thelma and Tony okayed them to fix flashing, final bill coming. Gutters for all township buildings, next phase coming to check all three. Sign in front of Smithville Community Center, committee approved and should have back in a couple of weeks. New business, resolution to join or engage Public Employees Retirement Fund, PERF, administered by Indiana Public Retirement System. Steve moved and Joanne seconded, so it was approved. Old business resolution, State Form 17/2027 budget, establishing salaries for township officers and employees. Steve moves, Joanne seconded, and it was approved. Additional discussion, Steve said he got the okay from the postal department to deliver mail to the mailbox outside of Smithville Community Center. And also under additional discussion, Jeff Calabrese talked about things he had heard about the township election being contentious. The meeting was adjourned at 5:30.
One thing I saw was adding the gaming beside Harrodsburg.
Yeah, see, I didn't, that wasn't.
Do you see anything, Dustin?
Did, but I wasn't present.
The only thing missing from the reading was the gaming listed on Harrodsburg's, next to Harrodsburg's account. Everything else I saw was right.
Okay.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes with the adjustment to the adding gaming.
Because I wasn't here.
I'll second.
All right, all those vote or in favor? Aye. Financial reports. Thelma, do you have the township financial reports?
Oh, yes. Well, I do have it. Okay.
These totals are the appropriated balances in each fund. And in rainy day fund, it's zeroed out. General funds, 126,360. Well, no, it's, general funds is $126.36. Recreation is $20,684.
Okay, do we have township assistance?
No,
Just to confirm, it's $126,000
$126 is what is appropriated to be spent this year. That's where our problem is.
And then what was the last, the 20,684 is?
It's $20.68.
In what fund?
It's in the recreation fund. And the township has already borrowed money from the Township Assistance Fund, and that has to be paid back before the end of the year. And that's why most of the products and things that we wanted to do is gonna have to be put on hold.
So last month, Thelma, it was reported that there was $64,230 in township assistance. Is it close to that, or do you just not have a dollar amount on it?
It's gonna be close to that.
Okay. Harrisburg?
Yep, Harrodsburg.
Checking account, we have $19,213.90. Savings, $2,554.35. And the CD has $10,748.51. And our gun raffle has $11,472.17. That's less than what the gun raffle was last month, but we've already received our gaming license for this upcoming year.
Richard, would you read that last number?
$11,472.17.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
All right. Smithville Community Center.
Well, I have the balances on those, on that. And Nancy, is not going to be doing anything, I guess, with the Smithville Community Center, so. The checking account has $4,991.64, and savings is $4,945.
Okay. Then Smithville Area Association.
Our general balance is $13,598.64, and Joanne, once again, I'll have to send you the farmer's market balance.
Okay.
All right. Then we'll move on to update on projects, the flat roof at Smithville Community Center. We got Nancy and Travis, but I know that you're no longer involved. And you're,
I'm sorry, what was the question?
the flat roof at Smithville Community Center, is there an update on it?
At this time, I have fulfilled the contract negotiations. Oh, by the way, my name is Travis. I'm with County Property Solutions. I've held a contract now for a year with the Clear Creek Township, in particular the Smithville building here, and we've had a lot of success with a lot of projects here. And that contract has now expired, and it was up for renewal, and it's not going to be renewed at this point in time. There was a rumor that I quit. That I just heard from the trustee's office, which is not accurate at all. I fulfilled the contract and I turned in my final invoice. So you guys have that invoice. I've already spoken with the trustee. I'm here just to see when I'm going to have payment for that invoice. As far as your roof goes, we do have the flashing that was completed over here now. And you have received some bid sheets there out detailing the work efforts from 2 different vendors here in the local area for those procedures. There are no new updates. Anybody that's got access to those bids has that information, and it's just sort of, kind of waiting on the call in the purse to proceed with those repairs.
I haven't seen the bids.
Well, from what I understand, you're not really there too much in the office, so you probably wouldn't see the bids. You have to be
We don't
present.
need to do that.
Where
You don't have to go.
where are the bids?
Those bids were submitted, so
Those were submitted to SEEP.
Nope.
We all got them.
Yeah, we've not seen them.
You haven't seen them?
you got one from Steve's Roofing and then one
There were
from Next
4.
Phase
Yeah.
Construction.
Well, I haven't seen
Are
any.
they in the box?
All the bids, everything is in that box.
Everything was in that box that Nancy brought to the township.
What would it be filed under, Nancy?
It was all in that box that she brought to you.
Well, there's several files in there, but I didn't see anything for any bids or anything.
The only one that was in that box was Next Phase, or the.
Next Phase, yes,
Yeah,
I
that's
did
the only one that
see.
was in there, we looked for them.
Okay, we'll have to track those down because they would have gone to,
They were in the box. When it was delivered.
I think I probably still have the bid from Steve's Roofing in an email thread. It wouldn't be difficult to give that to any upon request for anybody who wants an email. I'm sure I don't have a problem forwarding that.
Okay, so flat roof, essentially, we need to revisit the bids and approve at the next meeting.
Next Phase did 2 bids, one was way too high, and then the second one, they came in and it was a little lower.
He was gonna go back and look at it or something. huh?
And he did, and that was all forwarded.
Well, the bids really should be turned in at the trustee office.
They were forwarded to you, Tony, and the 3 board members by email.
So you're saying the bids came in by email?
Yes, everything comes in by email.
There was an email forwarded from the Smithville Community Center email.
Yes.
I'll have to make sure I got that with the changes.
Well, there has to be a trail of it. And the bids should be turned into the township office unopened. They should be opened at a meeting.
All right, well, there's nothing we can do to resolve that now, so let's table and move forward.
You can't hear you back here.
There are some seats up here if anyone would like to relocate to the front of the room, but my comment was, there's nothing we can do about that right now, so we'll just table it and we'll get those bids and we'll revisit it
Well,
then.
he's running the meetings.
So leaks in the conference room here at Smithville Community Center. I know that was completed. I believe the bill was submitted. Did it go to the township office?
Yes,
Okay. So that was
By
approved?
email.
Okay. So sign in front of Smithville Community Center, if you want to look, Travis, it may be up now.
Yeah, they're working on it.
Okay, so they're putting the sign up out in front of the community center now, so that should be done today. Grace Food Center had not gotten back to me with their final things yet, so we'll have to table that to next meeting. So now we'll move on to new business. Dustin had one add to the agenda prior to the meeting, which is pre-budget questions.
Yeah, I just got a few questions I was wanting to ask. Really, as we work on this next budget, because we have this appropriation situation. Looking at next year's budget and understanding this one more, personnel-wise, how many employees are included in the 2026 budget?
I believe that Stephen had mentioned having 4.
The 2026 budget, not
Oh, in the
27.
26
In your
budget,
current
you said.
budget.
Okay, there's only 1.
What position is that, Tony?
That's
There's gotta
Tony.
be more than one. 'Cause
No,
you're in
it's
there,
one.
we're in there, the board's on there.
Pardon
So
me?
the township deputy, the 3 board members, anyone else?
Oh, and, no.
Thank you. Okay. And then on the appropriations for the building, what is the deadline for the budget? So if we put projects together to ensure we appropriate correctly in 2027, what's the latest that the township budget has to be entered in the gateway?
I believe it is in November, but I'm
Okay.
not sure because I don't put it in the gateway.
Okay. I just think that we need to put together a capital plan for next year and make sure that we include that in there, so we're not doing additional.
Well, we have 2 meetings in September. The first meeting will present the budget, and then the second meeting will vote on it.
Yeah, I just want to come prepared with any projects like we did this year, because we're going to have to do additional appropriations this year. We may not have to next year, right? If we do it correctly.
Well, I'm not doing another appropriation, so everything needs to stop now until we work out the,
Well, we'll have to do an appropriation because
there's a time involved there too, Dustin, you just don't.
Well, I know, but the balances you reported on earlier, I mean, there's not going to be enough to pay you guys a salary without an additional appropriation. So we're going to have to do an additional appropriation, whether there's more projects or not. $126 isn't enough to cover the rest of this year. So we just need to work that up, and at the next meeting, take
What
care.
we need to appropriate to finish out this year's current projects and
Correct.
at least pay what we've got
Well,
out right now.
what we have spent includes the additional appropriation that we did earlier this year. And that was 54,000.
What was it?
So we did an additional appropriation with 54, but we held on that, didn't we?
We moved the rainy day fund back in, right before the
But
meeting.
we didn't do
so-
an additional appropriation.
You can't,
We didn't additionally appropriate yet. We knew there was going to be more than what was requested at that meeting.
Yeah, we did the temporary transfer of funds at that meeting, but we didn't do any additional appropriations because we wanted to make sure it was a one-time.
Just do one instead of multiple.
you did do additional appropriation.
We moved funds, a temporary transfer of funds at the April meeting, but we didn't actually do an additional
There was a
appropriation.
temporary transfer of funds from the township assistance which you were not supposed to do. The State Board of Accounts said and told Tony that he could move them if he puts, the money is paid back before the end of the year.
Correct. Which was the transfer that we all motioned and approved, was a transfer of funds that had to be repaid by December 31st of this year. Tony drew up the paperwork for it. He said on the advice of the State Board of Accounts. And it was just a temporary transfer of funds until we got our June disbursement from the state.
It was an additional appropriation. I'm not gonna argue the point because you don't know what you're talking about.
Well, the record reflect that then, and we'll move on, and
You signed,
when we do the
you
additional
people signed it,
appropriation,
so.
we'll make sure it's the correct amount.
Do you have any other budget questions?
No.
Dustin added this to the new business, bringing township properties into compliance. Some of you may or may not know, we had the building department called on this building. They came in, did an inspection, found out that we needed to do a post-construction building permit because we put some temporary walls in. That has been filled out and submitted to the building department. They found no other violations, just that we needed to fill out a post because it changed the square footage of the unit a little bit. But there was no plumbing or anything else moved, so we went ahead and submitted that, and I believe also added on the units that we plan to do in the future. We went ahead and put on this permit.
At their recommendation.
Yeah, at their recommendation to go ahead and include other potential projects that are coming. That way there would be a permit on file.
So that permit,
I'll get that.
I will get a hold of the building department and give them Thelma's name and number and email so that they can send all correspondence to her now on that permit instead of me. And I think this is probably the best time, because as of August 20th, I'm no longer assisting Clear Creek Township with the Smithville Community Center. I'm providing to Thelma. Here's all the keys to the building. This one is a master key with a master fob. This is master keys with a key to the mailbox and a master fob. That takes care of all the keys. This is the deposit book that Tony and I talked about when he was going to keep the checks in the township office and I was going to go there to write checks. That's been changed. This is the deposit slips that you want. This is the banking information, the EIN under the account that Kenny had established, and I took over when Kenny asked me to. On Friday the 21st, I called Premier Companies Public Service, Smithville Telephone, and had all my contact information removed from the Smithville Community Center accounts, both physically and electronically, and asked that Thelma and Tony be the ones put on those accounts. You'll need to check on that. Email messages, I sent email messages to tenants and contractors of the community center informing them that I will no longer be assisting the township with the management of the community center, and gave them Tony and Thelma's email and phone numbers to meet with them. I met with Chase Bank about removing my name from the account. I talked with Allison today, and Thelma's already been in touch with her, but I had all credit cards and debit cards closed. My access to online banking was removed. I asked to be removed from the account, but they said they needed someone as an account manager, so Thelma should go in to take care of that. I felt like if she didn't get it done, since we still have electronic payments that's going to be made on September 1st, that if she didn't want to do it, I could close out the accounts, have the checks written to Clear Creek Township, have someone go with me to do that so you could see exactly how much it is. But as it stands, Allison says it'll be taken care of by the end of the week, and I'll be off of that. The township office needs to inform the tenants of who to make checks out to and how rental payments should be made beginning with the September rent. Anyone that calls or contacts me at this time, I'm just referring them to the Clear Creek office. The only outstanding issue that I will still attend to is with the $6,000 bill that Duke Energy is trying to bill us for the meter in the back. It's a bogus bill. If you would prefer, I can give you all the information on it and you can take it up with them yourself. I don't care. I've been talking with him, and for several months, we've had him put it off. I have a call with them on the 27th, which is Thursday. If you want to have someone here, because I'm gonna take the call here, I asked Stephen to be here because he was here when the meter was removed and put back on. There's no $6,000 bill. They're so full of shit. Excuse the French. But, I'm hoping that that will be resolved on the 27th. And all my information on the Duke accounts will also be taken care of. I've enjoyed working on the community center. I think we've made a lot of progress on the community center. I think our tenants are having a wonderful experience here, and I hope that continues.
And I might add, I think Nancy needs some thanks for keeping things going. This building had Diamond Dynamics
And storage units.
and storage units. And then the building was shut down, so the storage units had to go away. We have now, how many rooms are we, I mean, we have,
310.
we're in good shape, is what I'm saying. And that's a lot due to Nancy and to Travis, so thank you.
Yes, thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.
So into kind of some of the meat of what we need to do. Basically, the State Board of Accounts had earlier in the year came down for a special investigation to discuss Smithville Community Center. And currently, the Harrodsburg and Redman Hall are operating as registered nonprofits. All the bodies collect room rents and whatnot. An issue that was found with SCC was that the nonprofit doesn't exist yet, and that with all three of these entities, there's no MOU in place to manage them. So there's a few steps that we need to do to bring those into compliance. One, we've got to draft MOUs for Harrodsburg and for Smithville Area Association, and I'll happily help with drafting those MOUs, bringing them back to the board. But those need to officially authorize the nonprofits to manage those day-to-day operations and retain the rental income in their nonprofit accounts to cover, any of the expenses that they're currently taking care of. Second, we need to have those MOUs approved and reviewed by legal before we sign off on those. So I think that we need to pass a resolution tonight that authorizes the review of those drafts, and then we can pull that out of any specific appropriation that exists. Once those MOUs are taken care of with Harrodsburg and Smithville Area Association, we can work with Smithville Community Center to get their nonprofit status, and then the final step would be step 4, which would be an MOU with them. Yeah, so I guess at this point, if we want to, I would make a motion that we work on MOUs with Harrodsburg and Redmond Hall. I'm happy to act as liaison on those, and that before we bring those back, we have legal review those. So I would appreciate a second if I can get one.
I will second. Any questions on that?
Tom, do you have the nonprofit status for Harrodsburg?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know why this board is questioning something that is almost 36 years old. We started,
We-
No, we're
We
not.
actually had lost our nonprofit status at one point, and it is back.
We're not questioning that.
No.
Just the State Board of Accounts said we have to have a document in between us, and that won't be a problem.
Yeah, and we're happy to work with you guys to get that taken care of.
Yeah, we'll get it squared away.
Any other questions?
What's an MOU?
Memorandum of Understanding. It's basically an agreement between two entities that says, while we own the building, you will be responsible for maintaining and upkeep of that building. It can be, I believe, just bestowed to a nonprofit that oversees that building.
Yeah.
But it basically gives them the authorization to be in the building and take care of the building.
Nothing will change. You keep
Yeah.
doing the things that you're doing.
It puts it
We
in
have to
official.
document
Yeah. It makes it official instead of a handshake agreement. It has the paperwork that goes with it. So when the state board comes in, they know that it's right.
And you're gonna keep working with the community center to get our nonprofit.
Yeah, but I'll probably focus on Harrodsburg and area association.
There.
Those are quick fixes.
All right, any other questions? All right, as a board, all in favor of Dustin's motion?
Aye.
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 All right. Next thing on the agenda is temporarily repairing the south driveway to Smithville Diamonds. I know, Dustin, you've been working on that.
Yeah, so Pat had asked that we make sure we make some temporary repairs prior to the Labor Day car show. So, while we're pursuing a long-term fix, there's still potholes up there, there's still stuff that's gonna damage those slow rider cars. So I'm asking the board to authorize our groundskeeper to perform temporary leveling work pretty much immediately, because we don't have much time before the Labor Day show. And they should be authorized to purchase of these materials. Maybe materials are on hand, or they get anything they need, like gravel, mulch, fill, or quickcrete, so that we can stabilize those areas before the car show. And we approve this tonight. I would hope that they can get it done before the event, so.
Any questions on that?
I've already done the south side. I recycled mulch from the tree for the stump ground over there. The south side's done. I can top dress some gravel. And the north side of the road, I'm about halfway done by using some of the gravel that's out here that's already been paid for. And you guys donated that tractor to load that, and got a guy doing some community service helping me do that. I'm donating my time, fuel, labor, so we'll get it done.
I'd like to still move forward with pushing it in case he needs quickcrete or anything like that.
Back there? Yeah.
Yeah, who owns the lane that goes up to the diamond, up to the ballpark fields?
So we found out in the previous meeting, Dustin, working with the county attorneys, it's actually owned by Smithville, or owned by the county, leased to the Smithville Diamonds. And Smithville Diamonds, Dustin had met with them.
Yeah.
They do not have the funds for a permanent fix. He's still exploring, I'll let you finish talking on
Yeah,
that.
no, so the Diamonds did realize in their current lease that they're to maintain that driveway. So when that got clarified a couple months ago, the county, myself, and the Diamonds agreed that after ball season was over, we'd get together and figure out how to take care of it long-term wise. And that'll probably be springtime or summer next year before there's a solution. But I think we're gonna look at some grants and some opportunities to potentially fix that problem. Make it more room for parking. I mean, that's why it's getting damaged like it is, people parking off the sides of the road. Maybe make it a little bit more handicap accessible at the Diamonds itself. But it doesn't doesn't change the fact that we need a temporary fix for the cars to ingress and egress.
Terry?
Can they not afford to do it? I mean, why are,
No, I'm on the board, we've never had enough money, we got bids.
you got what?
We got bids, we've never had enough money to redo that road from we have to have some kind of donation. It was, to redo that road was like $50,000. The board, our Smithville board would never, we never had enough money.
And
So
just
it's Diamond Dynamics?
No, I'm on the Smithville Diamonds board.
Smithville Diamonds Board, I believe Don Eads is the president of that.
No, Joey Seifers.
Joey Seifers is now.
Well, the previous president had re-signed the lease, we did not realize that he had done that.
So there's no funding gonna be from,
This is off topic.
The
Let's
Diamonds.
move forward.
We've tried to, we're never gonna have enough money to redo that road.
All right, right now, that's a question Dustin's working on going forward. Right now, Dustin has a motion on the table to proceed with temporary fixes of that road to allow access to the cars for Labor Days.
I second that motion.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
You got it, Matt? All right, next item on the agenda, it has been asked to move the budget presentation meeting from September 8th, 2026 to September 15th, 2026.
You can't, those are dates already set and it's been advertised, or sent to the paper.
We'll have to
So
re-advertise.
Yeah, we'll have to re-advertise.
you have to advertise the first meeting 10 days before the meeting.
Yeah, we're outside the 10 days. Yeah, we're 14 days out from the meeting right now.
And why are you wanting to change it?
Scheduling conflicts.
Yeah, so scheduling conflict right now,
Well, the
everybody would be
conflict has
present.
started with this board. In 36 years, I have never had a hostile board like I've been
We're
experiencing.
just asking to move a meeting date due to a conflict of one of the board members,
2 of the board members.
2 of the board members.
It's not voted on until the 22nd meeting.
But the board members still need to be
Gotta have a
present for the
quorum for the
presentation.
meeting.
Yeah, you have to have a quorum to be able to present the budget. So,
So you're all leaving town.
We're already leaving town.
so that is the week of Labor Day. So, we will be, as a board, making the motion to move the meeting from the September 8th, 2026 to September 15th, 2026 at the township office at 5 p.m.
Well, and the next meeting has to be X number of days after the presentation of the budget.
What is that timeline?
Whatever we had it set for the 8th, and then on the second meeting for the 22nd. And all you people, I want you to know that many people have been called, and for some reason, this board has it in for me. And I want you to think before you do anything or say anything or vote.
Thelma, this isn't anything to do with you or you personally. We just need to have a quorum to be able to have the budget presentation. And with 2 members unable to be there on the 8th, we need to move this to the 15th. This is nothing personal. This is nothing against the township office. It's just we need a quorum, and unfortunately, we can't get a quorum on September 8th.
And the only other option, if she's saying the 15th doesn't work, we could probably go ahead of the 8th if we get it posted timely.
We got 4 days.
What do you-
We're limited.
Before.
Well, the meeting for the budget is going to be presented on September the 8th. And if it's done without a board member there, then that's the way it's going to be. I'm tired of the,
Didn't this meeting move, wasn't this meeting moved from a different day?
Yes. It was last week.
This meeting was moved, Thelma, was that approved?
The plan was to have these.
I don't know what you're saying.
Wasn't this meeting supposed to be last week? I'm
Yeah,
confused
the
why
Congress-
this meeting can be moved.
This meeting was supposed to have been last week, and it was moved because of Tony's surgery. And I'm his mother, and I wanted to be around to see what's going
I totally
on.
understand, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know why this is.
The only thing is that we were gonna discuss the meeting change a week ago. So our hands are kinda tied at this point. We can't come forward with it, so we'll have to.
Their hands are not tied, people.
We have to follow the same rules.
And they want me to resign before the end of the year, and that's not happening.
And no one has said that, and nobody has asked for that, and I have 0
And
issues.
you're lying. You're lying,
Thelma.
period. Well, you
No,
are.
I have said numerous times, including last meeting, I had no issue with Thelma Jeffries. I have not a bad word to say about Thelma Jeffries. She has done a lot for this township.
Let's just vote on the motion.
So-
I gave you this whole complex to fight over now, people.
So, there's a motion on the table to move the meeting from September 8, 2026 to September 15, 2026 at the Harrodsburg Township office.
Well,
All in favor?
Can we add to that motion that if that requires us to change the second meeting, we'll have to?
Okay.
For notice purposes, because if there has to be 10 days in between or whatever, then we have to make that change.
Okay. So pending follow-up on the timeline between the first and the second meeting on September 22nd may also have to be moved once we hear from Thelma that timeline.
I second that motion. It's still coming.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Next item on the agenda is the lights in the shelter house. Patty has been on me constantly. We thought we had them fixed, but they still flicker. So,
Unless someone climbs up on the picnic table.
I wanted to add this to the agenda to see if we can get a motion or someone through the township or authorize them to purchase new lights to replace those.
Can that be done with SCC money?
Do I?
Can that be done with SCC money or community center?
We'd be happy to, I
association?
mean, since the farmer's market uses it so much, we'd be happy to put some money into it, because we were grateful that we had a couple grants from Parks and Rec and some business owners to help us out, so we would have some funds that we could put towards, I mean, not bunches and bunches, but to purchase lights and to get some money, so we'd be happy to do that.
And I believe we looked at it and it's not gonna require any new outlets. They're actually just plugged in there, so it would just be
I
simply
think they're just
replacing the
utility
lights.
lights, aren't they?
Do I?
Lights.
Yeah, the work lights. So if they're gonna cover the funds with farmer's market, we just wanna verify that they're okay to.
Yeah, I'd say they're okay, and then report back to us at the next meeting, and if we need to do something, we will,
Okay.
financially, because I don't know what it's
Yeah.
gonna cost, right?
Right, well, yeah, I'll find out probably through Cassidy to.
And before Pat drags a ladder out to try to do it himself, ask for help.
I want to drop.
I can tell by his looking over there, he's already planning on how to get those lights changed.
Well, you can name with somebody else at Cassidy's bowl, or before Labor Day to get that, yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, if anything electrical has to be done, it has to be done with a licensed electrician, but if they simply are unplugging and rehanging lights, that's a little bit different, but report back and let us know, but we appreciate you guys taking that on with the farmer's market money.
And thank you for letting us use it, 17 years.
Thank you for having the farmer's market.
With biscuits and gravy every Saturday.
Yes.
All right, additional discussions, Smithville Labor Days. I had sent an email yesterday to Tony and Thelma. I just wanted to follow up. Have you had any additional conversations on the golf carts, the porta-johns, or?
The dumpster's already, it's always donated from Waste Away.
Okay.
And Lisa has been in contact with them, and yeah,
Okay.
they're always gracious to do that, so we're good there.
So it's just the golf cart
And the porta-johns,
and
and
the porta-johns.
security, and I mentioned that at the addendum, the security.
Yeah, thank you, sent the email to them.
Yeah.
So they just wanted to verify, because the township is always taking care of that, they just wanted to verify that would still be taken care of
Or
for
we'll
Labor
need to
Days.
pull it out of SAA funds this year, I don't know.
Thelma, do you know if Tony had worked on any of that? Because he normally contacts Izzy's for the porta-johns and then professional golf
We're
cart.
getting one cart.
Yeah, that's what it was with one 6-seater cart. The other 2 are being donated.
Okay.
So-
One of them was donated to me. It's been used by Smithville.
And then the porta-johns, do you know if he's contacted Izzy's for the handicap? We normally have a handicap porta-john and
We have
then
3, yeah.
3 total, one of them being handicapped.
And I don't know, I had texted Tony, before and hadn't heard back. I did call Izzy's just to get us on their record to do that, but they hadn't. The lady I talked to was fairly new in the office, so she hasn't gotten back with me, so I can call back again on that, but I was kind of waiting to see if Tony would give them a call, so I didn't know where that stood. Whether I
Izzy's
should
is
make
my-
that call or.
Izzy's is my stepmom, so if you need help, get in touch with
Okay.
them.
Okay,
I'm sure.
thank you.
Well, thank you, Patty. Sounds like you've done it. And then you said they did get one golf cart, Thelma?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Patty, did you say something about security?
Well, typically, we've been able to, townships paid for security on Sunday night, and that has allowed us to do all of our setup on Sunday. In years past, we used to have to totally set it up on Monday morning, and because we didn't have it. But for several years, we've been able to have the security, so
And
usually
Tony
at
normally
dusk.
handled that?
Usually, yeah, and Tony usually handled it, usually at dusk we usually start showing up between 6 and 7 the next morning, so that's.
So will we know if that's been handled? Will you know before?
That was another issue I wanted to check on to see, but that in my email or text to Tony, that was something I forgot to ask, and that's why I included it in the email to you all to see about security. I'm not sure where that comes yet. I mean,
I just know Tony normally
who's been
handles
here
it.
for security the last few years, who he's gotten to be in security the last few years, but didn't know all the process
All right, we'll just wait for him to follow up. It sounds like, he said he's got a doctor's tomorrow and we should know. Thelma? He said he's going for a checkup tomorrow, so should know if he's back.
I'm sure.
Okay. So anything additional from the board?
Yep, so two things, I think. One, with the Smithville Community Center changes, I need to file a conflict of interest because my wife owns Save ETC, which has a contract through January with the community center. So I will get the documentation filled out this evening and submitted to you all via email. And then I can have that document available at the next meeting for anybody who wants to review it.
Perfect.
And then another thing I think is we have representatives here, right, that can help us ask some questions about the retaining wall project. So who do we have?
Brian King, I'm a subcontractor that helped with the project for the retaining wall parking lot and drainage improvements. So we're maybe approaching close to 90 days on our final invoice. It's past due, so just, anything that any questions I can answer or help get that resolved so that we can get that payment processed, it would be great.
I have a question about that.
Yes.
Do you have a change order for the retaining wall? Because I understand that was not in the original contract. The original contract was $40,600. It did not include a retaining wall.
Right, we were asked to do the retaining wall when the project started because I guess they wanted to go ahead and add additional parking back there. I assume that was probably due to some of the renovations and new tenants that are going in back there.
So there's nothing in writing that documents who asked you what the retaining wall was for, what kind of a retaining wall, anything. So it's just, they said just go to a retaining wall.
We were told by the board what they wanted, and that's the work that was performed, yes.
And we, whenever that change happened, we contacted the township office, asked for a special meeting, and we were replied to that said it's not required, go ahead and do it.
Okay, so who told you that in the township office?
Tony replied back with Thelma stated, talking to Thelma, Thelma said no meeting was necessary, do
You're
it.
lying again.
It's in writing.
It's in writing, we have the email.
You have an email of that?
Yes.
If it's in writing, I want to see it.
Okay.
Where is it? I mean, who?
Pull it up here. Just-
Yeah, we can get it pulled up, but yeah, it was, I tried to call a special meeting when they said the retaining wall had to be done prior to doing the drainage work, and we asked for it and were told it was not required.
All right, well, I have other concerns with this Mitchell excavating contract because it started out.
I don't
at
believe there was ever a
$40,600. I'm sorry, what?
There was never a contract. So
Well,
we
then why are
accepted
we
bids
paying
on
any of this if
request
there's no
proposal.
contract?
We requested bids through our RFP and we approved the lowest responsive bid.
So you've approved the bid, but work has been done. So I'm confused. If there's no contract, there's no change orders, there's nothing in writing. And my understanding now, the total bill is over $200,000. So where did our money go? And why did it go? And who approved it? And why isn't anything in writing?
So the board received 4 invoices totaling about $98,000. I would say that those invoices meet the definition of itemized, but I would like to see more information on those retroactively. Specifically, I'd like to see some more info on like the hours and the scale weights and stuff like that. Because they're not included in there, it's not that big a deal, those were paid for. But from a documentation standpoint, we definitely need to have that on file. What I'm really curious about is the last invoice, how it was submitted, what's included on that. Because we received your first 4 invoices and the board has not seen any invoice after that. So we just need to clear that up and then go from there.
Yeah, I believe the final invoice, Gabe worked directly with Tony on that. And so I don't think it was given to the board, it was given directly to Tony.
Okay, would that invoice have been submitted on the same software and whatnot that you guys have submitted the other invoices?
You mean as far as the same platform that he submitted, like is it all on QuickBooks, is that what you're referring to?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
There was an invoice turned in, but it was all even numbers. It said trucking 32,000, something else 14,000.
Do you know how, sorry, I think,
Anyway, it was, everything was rounded around so that it was 10,000, 6,000, 7,000, dump fees, 40,000, crazy. And all Tony did was ask for itemized bill. And we finally got one, which tells of the trucking, how they rented a truck and where they got the stone and what the stone, the number of the stone and the cost. So that one is being reviewed, and we will get back to you, but that one has,
you know,
it's going through the review, and I'll let you know when we get it back.
do you know the total number of invoices that were submitted?
I don't, Gabe. Again, I'm a subcontractor to him. I know what I have material in this project, but my invoices went directly to Gabe. I worked for Gabe on the project.
Okay.
So that being said, I would have to look back. I think I actually should be able, I don't know what it is offhand, but I should have that because I also have the file that Thelma is referring to that has all the receipts from the project, the invoices I turned into Gabe for the project, so totaling everything on all the work that was done. So I have a copy of that file too, so I'm sure that I can look at that. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, because I wasn't the one who provided the invoices to the community center.
And what's the remaining balance?
I believe it's $23,800 is the final invoice, if I'm not mistaken.
So what I'm hearing is that we don't even know if we had a contract. We paid over $190,000 to somebody, and we don't even know what we got. Nothing is in writing. It was all, what, word of mouth or something? I'm very confused about what's going on.
So we're not required to sign a contract. And the RFP, the request for proposal, outlined the work that we needed to have done. When the excavator hit snow and the project scope changed, and as Steve mentioned, there was going to be a meeting to discuss the scope of that change, and it didn't happen. But those invoices, like I said, sometime in, I think it was late April, we were getting invoices emailed to us, and that stopped. So I want to know what invoices the board is missing and what those invoices include.
Well, another concern I have is by law, the total of all change orders that increase the scope of a project cannot exceed 20% of the original contract, which apparently we don't have a contract. But there's a 20% cap, and if you go over that cap, it's not you rebid, you have to look at the entire project again and decide what to do, which might be rebidding, it might be increasing the scope, there might be a lot of things you could do. All of this needs to be in writing. It shouldn't be verbal or handshakes or whatever was going on here. And now we're over $200,000. We don't know what was done, when it was done. We don't have a whole lot of information, who approved what, when, where, and this is my taxpayer dollars, as it is everybody in this room who lives in Clear Creek Township. That's our money that you're playing with here, and we don't know what happened to it. And also, once you get to a certain amount, there are other requirements that the state puts on you. You have to have a bond, you have to have a certain amount of insurance, and so on. And I'm not even sure liability or workers' comp insurance information was submitted with this proposal. So I don't know if the contractor even had any. No one has seemed to be able to present that information to date. And I do want to thank a couple of people. Tony Jeffries gave me a lot of documents. Dustin Dillard also provided me with a lot of documents. So thank you for that as I'm trying to understand what's going on here. But, you know, this bill going from $40,000 to $209,000, that's a $417 increase over the original contract amount, if you wanna call it a contract. I don't know what this is, but this just seems like a big mess to me, and I just wanna know what the board is doing.
So, I mean, I understand and completely agree with your sentiments on it, Susan, and, you know, I think that, given the $98,000 in invoices that we've received, you know, I'm comfortable with the documentation that we've had and the claims that were paid, but the remaining 111,000 or whatever amount, I want to know where that went, what that was for also. But I also know that that apparently has probably been submitted, it sounds like over 90 days ago. And I just learned about this final issue a week or two ago. So I have concerns that for the last 90 days, we have people that we have, as a township, have done work with, and they've not been compensated. Where their documentation submissions went, I don't know. What that included, I don't know. But I want to get to the bottom of that, and I appreciate you coming tonight. It sounds to me like you kind of had to, and I think that we just have a few more questions, right? Like, you can't answer this question, but I would like, you know, the first invoices were emailed, the first 4. Surely the remainder of them were submitted the same way. I'd like to see when those were submitted and what they included. I'd like to know how many invoices total there were, because I can only account for the 4 invoices that I have and that were discussed, you know, in our meetings. So, yeah, I think there's a lot out there, but I want to wrap this up sometime soon, because you guys, and especially as a subcontractor, deserve to be compensated for your time and expenses. So, I mean, I don't know what a good resolution for everyone is, but, you know, perhaps we have a special meeting just on this matter. We gather up all the documentation and we discuss that publicly in a public atmosphere, because I think there are a lot of questions. I think there were certainly some things not done correctly. And, you know, as far as the contract goes and the steps that you mentioned, Susan, I can assure you that there were not, in my knowledge, there were no written change orders or anything like that. It was all verbal. So we need to fix that. And so, I don't know. I mean, if you all think a special meeting on this
I think we
would be
should.
beneficial, I think we should. I think the public should be there. We should get all the documentation, and as soon as that's concluded, we get these guys paid.
I agree.
Could I add just something too, just as somebody that was here as a witness, during the course of that work activity when it was underway? I can tell you that these guys were very busy, they were very hard at it, they had a lot of rock to cut through. It is sort of a technical job, you know, trying to understand the geology of what's taking place, which you never really know until you dig into the earth to see what you got down there. But we know we're on top of a lot of rock, and if the work wasn't done, that was done, which was very necessary, this building would not have made it, because you had a river cutting through the bottom of it, and if you did not get that water diverted, then it would have eventually collapsed your foundation, and it would have cost you a lot more. So I would just like to offer that, you know, and let you know that they did an excellent job, and their workmanship is impeccable, and in my opinion, it was money well spent. I can't speak to anything else other than that, but I can tell you that in sincerity, I think it was a very fine job, and they fulfilled it. And in the basement, it's dry. So they have achieved a remarkable thing for the preservation of this building.
There were a couple more hands.
I think there's a hand over here, and then I have one too.
What's the max amount of money that can be spent without going through the public process?
I don't know, off the top of my head, Jeff, I think we would have to consult with an attorney.
Yeah, I read something, I don't think they're right. I don't think I'm reading the way. I mean, we used to have anything over 50,000, we had to bid everything. But I don't think it's that way anymore. That's been a few years back. And the other was, when does the warranty scope of that work expire? Normally contractors give a 1-year guarantee on their work. So when would that expire?
I would have to look back at the bids that we received. We got bids from, I think, 4 different contractors, maybe 3. I know there were 4
I
invited.
know 3 for sure.
3 submitted, and Jeff, that was back in February, I can't remember that.
Right, well, I know once winter's over, you're gonna really see how good of scope of work it was, if it's all still standing properly and the freeze and thaw don't affect the wall. So, I mean, I would assume when the work ended, the warranty started. Is that how you look at it?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that, you know, upon completion of the project.
Right, so that's just something you need to have in your back pocket come springtime.
So, do you have, I guess that makes a good comment, that last invoice was right at 90 days ago. Do you know a date on that?
Probably can find.
Do you know where we got that? Do you know where we got the invoice from last?
I know when we got it.
Yeah.
It's probably been a month now.
I don't have it in this file. The file I have just has the receipts. I'll have to get that for you.
Okay, thank you.
May I?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'd like to.
Oh, I just wanted to say, it seems to me it would be prudent to have a structural engineer come in and check the work. And that would give the public some confidence that the work was completed correctly and that there's no damage that has been done to the foundation. If there's anything additional, they can tell us at that time that needs to be done. So I'm
Foundation
just gonna
of,
throw that out there.
foundation of what?
This community center.
Yeah, so we had the building assessed by a structural engineer. I don't know, I was on the board, I can't remember what it was.
Kevin
We
Meyer
could-
came in forever
Yeah,
ago.
we could have the same individual come in and take a look, you know.
Rosie? Oh, Terry?
Yes, I wish Gabe would be here, to, support what he called me because I was trying to help, Tony obtain, because he's having some visual issues. So I was, helping Tony gather up some receipts because it's required by the State Board of Accounts. And then Gabe called me. And then, he was wondering why we needed the receipts, and I explained to him why, because the State Board of Accounts required it. And he has sent some itemized billing. We don't have all of them. There's a lot missing, and we've asked numerous times to Gabe, you know, where are the receipts? Gabe firmly believes that his bid is his contract. That $40,600 is his contract. And he said to me that when he hit rock, he went to Steve, and Steve said he wanted the retaining wall.
Yeah, so we can't do that here in this.
Well, I said I wish Gabe was here. I do have some itemizations, but they don't match up. For instance, a wheel loader was $5,700 and something, and he's charging the township $9,000. These are the discrepancies that are there, but we don't have anything to come up with $209,000. And we've asked and asked and asked.
Yeah, I have not, as soon as they hit rock, I sent out an email to everybody
Can you pull
and
that
asked
up
for
on
a
your
special
phone?
meeting. Huh?
Can you pull that email?
That's what I was trying to look at. It's in like a million threads. It's easier on a computer than it is my phone. We tried to find.
Who sent it out?
Tony?
No, who sent out the request about the retaining wall?
I did, and asked for a
You-
special,
you sent it.
I asked for a special meeting from everybody. I was calling them all, trying to do whatever we could, and Tony responded with, Thelma said we don't need it.
Okay, I need to see the email with the headers that show the IP address and times on that. And one of you should be able to pull that up on your phone.
So I have submitted, that email was in the thread that I sent to Susan.
I don't care about that, I want to see the email. If
Well,
it was sent out, it's on your phone.
All right, will you email me and I can send you that information?
Pull it up.
I'm on my cellular device in a building where I'm not connected to Wi-Fi, it's not moving very quickly. So you send me your request, I'll give you my email, and I will send you that
Send it
documentation.
back over to Tony.
Send it back over to Tony. Okay. I'm still gonna need a request from you in writing. Any other comments, Steve?
Yes, Rosie.
I would like to go back several years and to remind everybody this was not a flash in the pan project. That we have had water in the basement in the Smithville room and it's harmed a lot of things. And we have tried many different things to fix the water getting in. So this goes back probably what, 10 years more than that? So this project was, we were all getting very frustrated because we were losing the building. To me, it felt like we were losing the building. So I would like to just remind everybody, this is not something new that just happened. This is very old. And this was an answer, it sounded like to me, from what I've heard over the past year, that this was fixing it. And and I'm not talking to the bills or anything, I'm just talking to the project, because we needed to get something done to fix the leak coming in. And so far, from what I've I've been told from several big rains that we had, that Smithville room stayed dry the whole time, which is not something I've heard. And I heard from a person that worked here way before the township got the building back, that it would be foot deep of water down there. So, to me, this is a blessing to have this water fixed. But I know nothing about the money or the receipts.
And I remember the meeting they talked about this, and the board didn't want to do the retaining wall, that they wanted to just fix it, and then the people here were like, why would you do one and then the other, why not just do them both? Well, you're doing one.
Because Gabe told me that Steve wanted the retaining wall.
What I'm saying is, it was at this meeting well before it happened, there was the people that were suggesting we should do the wall at the same time. The board at that time was just talking about doing not the retaining wall, and everybody here was like, why not try to do them both at the same time? So we're saving money instead of doing one and going back to the next year.
Well, it should have been in some kind of bid.
I'm just saying, from what I remember that was the people here wanted, suggested that when we went over it.
It's easier to find on a
I'm
computer.
sure
The contractor Gabe has a whole different opinion of what happened.
I'm just we talked about it.
Any other comments?
Well, and so are you gonna have someone come in a structural engineer to come in and take a look at the work?
Yeah, I'll motion to do that, and I'd like to see it be the same person that looked at the
Kevin
building
Potter.
previously, yeah. So I motion that the previous structural engineer revisit the building and check everything.
All right, I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye. All right, so I've located the email. It was an email from Tony Jeffries to Joanne Calabrese, myself, Stephen Hines, and Nancy Croker on Wednesday, April 15th, 2026 at 2:03 p.m. The first sentence in Tony's email says, the township board was bidding out the northeast drainage work. That is around the time Stephen was going to call a special meeting to spend additional funds, and Thelma said that would not be necessary. That is also one sentence in 9 months.
That doesn't mention the retaining wall. That talks about the French drain.
Well, there's an entire thread on here, so
I'll request for that too.
Please do.
Any other questions? All right, I'll make a motion to adjourn at 6:19.
Well, I think before we adjourn, I don't want to adjourn just yet. So, I mean, I think it's pretty clear that instead of looking at the root factual evidence, requesting documents, doing our own homework, and getting the facts, there's been conversations and conversations about things and things and things that have driven home opinions that are likely factually incorrect. And I think the best place to have those conversations transparently is in public meetings like this. And I want to see a public meeting specifically for this retaining wall so that can happen. But you know, at the end of the last meeting, I wasn't present, but I was able to watch the recording later, fortunately. And a friend of mine stood up and talked about some things and clearly had been given some very incorrect and non-factual information. So I just want to caution everyone at running with hearsay, running with the words of other people. Do your own homework, request the documentation, and get facts. Stand on facts, because ultimately, at the end of the day, there is zero question that there have been things done in sloppy manners, and there's no finger pointing, right? Like, township government is under a spotlight and a microscope for these very exact reasons statewide. And the reality of it is we all need to do better. And that is for myself, my peers up here, the township office, and everyone in this room, of which I know 90% of you. Let's get the facts, let's have conversations, let's do things the right way, and let's work together.
Thank you, Dustin, because all day today I have thought about how to say something. I don't live in my hometown community anymore, but my heart is here. And my family was very active in what I call the Renaissance of Smithville. And about 6 years ago, I became involved where my parents had left off. The rumors, and I have been part of those blames, that it's, Rossi's done this, Rossi has said this, Rossi's done that. And I'm sitting there going, where did this come from? And so whoever the next trustee is, I hope we start off, and I hope we end with giving Thelma the accolades she deserves. There's been, we all know the issues. We don't need to hash them again. We need to start fresh with the new trustee. And I would like to say to whoever it is, Steve or Susan, when we hear these rumors, we stop them dead, right then. And we find out who has started them and stopped them. That harms families. One that I had was personal. And I was troubled why it even hit us at home. So I think we need to pledge to each other that this stops, because we have harmed a relationship that I valued, that I watched. And going forward, I think whoever's starting these or saying them needs to think about their neighbors, of how this harms people. It's not healthy, and it needs to stop. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But how can we cheer up when we say there's things and things and things and things? Well, I don't know what you're talking about, what things and things and things are. So how can we start being transparent, say, you won't even mention what the actual rumors and stuff are? I mean,
Well,
to assume all those things, or I mean.
Oh, I
can work on a list for you, Pat. This is gonna take me some time, especially, how far back do you want me to go on that one?
Just start a week ago.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I don't know what, you know, there seems like there's a lot of tension, conflict there, and there's, yeah, obviously someone on display. But I don't know if that's all encompassing what you're talking about, man, there's just.
Yeah, Jeff?
That's probably a good thing, Pat. Some of
Yeah,
us
but
may
I
not
mean,
want to.
We may not want to, but I mean, it's better to say it if we're gonna try and have any, aspirations for transparency.
Jeff?
Could I have been that friend
I don't know.
that you?
I have a lot of
Oh,
friends.
you were saying there was a friend that you watched in a meeting. Well, I happen to be the one that was doing the.
Well, so are you admitting you're my friend?
Uh-oh.
Well,
Careful, careful.
I've known you since you were born. What I was talking about is things that I heard myself from people that had been, like I said, had been over to the breakfast,
Yeah.
or not the bread, the farmer's market, and asked me what the hell's going on, and then they tell me what they hear.
Exactly.
I didn't talk to anybody else about what I heard. I just know it needed to be said.
But in all fairness, you didn't hear from me, Steve, or Joanne.
That's right.
In all fairness.
Well, but when you're the one being accused of doing it, you don't go ask them if they're damn opinion.
All I'm saying is it's still hearsay.
Well,
Yeah.
hearsay is, my problem is I'm brutally honest, and it gets me in trouble a lot. But I just, I had to say something, because it made me that mad, and I didn't really get mean.
Don't worry, Jeff. I go eat my breakfast alone at the farmer's market and leave before anybody else gets there.
Well, when you stick your nose out there in the politic world,
It
everything goes.
will destroy your personal life.
Everything goes. That's just the way it is. Well, I've dealt with it for many years at the fire department. I understand it.
All right, any other comments? Dustin?
Motion to adjourn.
Again.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. 6:26.
Whew.